Okay, Zoomer, we're leading this meeting.
You have to say.
Ready?
Alright, in
Action.
true Houston fashion, this is not like edited in any capacity. So this video we'll talk about just where we've been and oh, we got the wash machine going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
I guess that's us.
Come on, Betty. Come here.
Talk about where we've been, what we remember, what we liked. There's no right or wrong here. Okay.
So the reason we're doing this is because we've been on the road for 4 whole months now. As of yesterday.
You did a really good job filling in your own blank there.
Nobody was going to do it for me, so pick one up.
Can you give me my water, please, Owen?
Sure.
Okay, so we started in, I consider our first stop, West Salem, Wisconsin. When we sold our house, and everything that we were bringing with us was in here, the Riv. We call it the Riv, R-I-V. It was just everywhere. It was stacked. It was a bit overwhelming that all that stuff. But it had a home, like every place that everything needed to go was empty. The cupboards were mainly empty, but this stuff was just everywhere. So that's what I remember about West Salem, is having to attempt to start to organize our new house. Or West Salem, Lake Neshonoc as a whole, it's a really nice campground. Belle said she remembered paddleboarding.
Yeah.
This is not me talking the whole time, okay? Anything else about West Salem or Lake Neshonoc?
I like.
I think in general, we because we were busy, we didn't spend a ton of time there necessarily. I mean, some people spent more time than others. Ethan's friends came to visit, I remember that. Belle's friends came to visit as well. It is a very nice campground. It has a pool that we spent some time in. The lake is right there, so paddleboarding. And in general, it was just a really nice campground.
A little bit. From West Salem, we made our first official venture, and we went to Chippewa Falls.
Chippewa Falls, baby.
Frog something. Frog Creek? Frog. Anyway.
I don't remember the name of it.
Rebecca came to visit us there, and you went and visited your parents.
Yep, went and visited my parents at the cabin. The thing I remember most about it is that was a sprawling campground. Like, it took up a lot of space. Like, it was a long way from where we entered to where we actually were camping.
Is this the one with that frog mascot? Or
Yeah.
Is this, okay.
Zoomer, don't. Those aren't yours.
Bobby, go on. Those aren't your Christmas presents.
We actually were there. It wasn't terribly busy. I think we were there kind of in the middle of the week. But I've heard from other people that camp there that it is busy all the time, packed up. Lots of things for people to do. That's what I remember about that one.
We didn't do any of it, but there was a lot of stuff
You
to
Well,
do.
You had to pay.
You had to pay for a lot of stuff, but even there, I mean, they had nice basketball courts. Ethan went and played basketball.
They had some hiking trails, sort of. They were kind of just like mini hiking trails.
Well, it really would have been neat. They had a theater, an outdoor theater, and they did do movies there, but we were not there at the time they were doing movies.
Okay then, Rice Lake. We ended up, so we didn't know where we were going from Chippewa Falls, and we ended up in the Walmart parking lot. Is it easier if you guys can see yourself? Because that's going to keep going to sleep.
Yeah.
We ended up in the Walmart parking lot for well over an hour trying to figure out where we were wanting to go. We were trying to get up closer to Lake Superior in Duluth, and everything was full. I mean, it was the end of summer, this beginning of August.
It was also like really hot that day, so you were sitting in the Walmart parking lot in the heat.
I think they just found the goat head. But we stayed at Rice Lake for a while.
Yup.
That's not your statement.
Yup.
The campground itself was, I mean, it was nice enough. It was fairly new. A farmer had decided to create it. The bathrooms were fantastic, right, Phil? Phil and I showered up there all the time. The bathrooms were awesome. They really were looking to give our kids a good experience. They opened up and left open I don't even know what they called it. It wasn't a game room, but it was like an office
it was
area.
like it was part of the
Pool
office.
table.
They had a pool table, so we played some pool there. They had bags, so we threw some bags around. And Zosie probably remembers best the cows.
Yeah.
There were cows in the field.
Jean was nice too.
What was nice?
Jean.
Oh,
The
Jean,
lady that
yes.
ran the campground.
Jean was very nice. We had campfires and sat outside and watched the stars.
So that giant bonfire.
So it was a small campground. It was nice. Everyone was kind of in a circle. But the significance of Rice Lake is we got stuck there.
Yeah, we did. Poor Penelope.
We had just left home a couple days earlier, and our whole adventure got delayed close to a week.
We were traveling down to, I think, just offload stuff to your parents, right, at Osseo. They were just going to pick some stuff up, and we had a
We met
meeting.
them because they had my Young Living order finally showed up, and we were going to swap because it wasn't too far away.
And that's when Penelope started to struggle.
What is Penelope?
Penelope is my beautiful Ford Expedition that didn't make it.
Now I have Maurice.
Yeah, it was. Just like Emmett said. What?
Oh my god.
Wow.
So less than a week into
Sorry,
the
we
adventure,
don't have
and
that
we had to
anymore,
get a new vehicle. We had just put like $3,000 worth of preventative work into it, and got brand new tires, and we were supposed to be good to go as far as anybody could have predicted. And so, I mean, it's fortunate that's where it was, right? It was close to home.
Yeah.
We got what we needed from home. It was not worth attempting to put more work into that vehicle because it was older, had lots of miles, and what was thought to be wrong with it may or may not have been fixed after we put all the work into it anyways. We were already delayed, and there was another Ford Expedition nearby that now became our new vehicle.
See, I
Maurice.
disagree that it was a good thing that that's when it happened, because I think we were so trying to get on the road that some hasty decisions were made.
So Maurice is 1 year older than Penelope was, 2011 versus
Maurice is
newer. Sorry, Penelope was a 2010 expedition, and Maurice is a 2011 expedition. But two things is Maurice has way less miles,
He's also diagnosed us all with car sickness.
and he's smaller.
Wait,
Belle had looked
You're-
up. We lost 9 cubic feet going from a smaller version of the expedition, and it's definitely noticeable. And we don't all ride in the car all at the same time because we drive 2 vehicles. But when we're all in there, 6 people, 2 dogs, you notice the missing space. So, anything else about Rice Lake?
There was the bird, like the parrot or whatever.
oh
yeah.
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 I was just gonna say the
Azul?
farmer let us have a bunch of corn and
Yeah.
tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had purchased some.
I think
We
the bird's
laid
name
them out
was
for
Azul.
purchase, and then he let us have some more. That was good corn.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure we're
it
the
was.
only ones who actually bought some.
Might have.
So that's probably why he just said, take as much as you want. Oh, and then the day we were leaving, he brought us some potatoes.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah,
Potatoes, that's
potatoes.
what it
those are
was.
good.
Farm fresh. Ethan, did you want to comment more on the bird?
There was a bird,
Oh my God.
and oh,
I don't remember if it was a he or. Alright, then you talk.
I'm
He
trying
is.
to.
Yeah,
There
he's
was
making
a
it very
bird.
clear.
At the Rice Lake, and this couple had a bird. I think it was a parrot. Maybe it was it a parrot?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Its name was Azul.
But it was green.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was green.
Azul in Spanish means blue, but
so-
the bird was green.
For those of you.
Just
It got its name from Rio, the movie. So that's.
But anyway, they brought their bird to the bonfire, and they let you hold it if you wanted to. So I held it. I don't know who else.
I
did.
held it. Phil's the only one who didn't.
They
hold it.
literally walked up to you and were like,
I was just like,
"Sure."
here. You just. Also, birds are a lot heavier than they appear.
Alright, when we were in Rice Lake, we went up to Superior.
Yeah, that was cool.
We had to drive back and forth, but got to go see Lake Superior, rock skip. That was fun. Okay, we are on the third location out of
30,
so far we have been to
30.
places, including here.
Yeah, I'm not staying.
Okay, so then we crossed into another state, and we crossed through to Duluth, and we kept driving, and we went to Lake Itasca.
Where the Mississippi starts.
That's right. That's right. Stayed at LaSalle State Park, I think it was called. But the cool thing there was we got to walk across the Mississippi River. Do you remember that?
In the
Yeah.
pouring rain.
A couple months
Yeah.
ago. It was.
Only like 2 of us did it.
I did.
Everybody did it.
Not in the water. though.
Oh, not
Not
it.
you. Oh yeah, I didn't burn.
Most people
that.
took the bridge, and Ethan and I
You
charged
guys
through
didn't all
the
go
water.
across on the rocks? Or the
We
water?
did, but then
I-
we came back through the water.
We came back through the
I
water.
I
only
did both.
I only didn't do it because
I
of
did.
I had
Jerry.
tendencies
Yeah,
on
you
the
didn't.
rocks.
Did you even go on the rocks?
So we probably would have spent more time at that particular place, or even doing more things up there, even though we were only a couple days, but it did rain
Yeah.
like the whole time we were up there. But
Which was the last time we saw rain for a very, very
For a long
long
It's
time.
been a long time, yeah. I'm getting
Then
there
that was actually our only stay in Minnesota, and we booked it on over to Castleton, North Dakota. That was, I think, just a one-night stop.
Yeah, it was.
And it was an RV resort, RV park next to a hotel. Nothing there really, but we did find a really nice park. Really nice park with a pond, and that's what I remember there. Okay, how about Jamestown?
Lovely
North Dakota.
museum. Museum
The
was
frogs.
great.
Okay,
Ah, yes, the frogs being summoned
you
by
go
the
for
lights.
the museum first, and then they can talk
Oh,
about the frogs.
So in Jamestown, they have the Stutzman County Historical Museum, and that was really cool. They just had a bunch of stuff. It was in an old mansion, but it wasn't like the history of the mansion necessarily. I mean, they had some of that, but it was just old clothes and old toys and old valentines and old military things and all sorts of weird stuff, and it was just really cool.
Also, for whatever reason, they just randomly had a Nazi armband in the military section, so I guess that's
Because it's
fun.
history.
It's history.
That's still weird.
I-
It's random.
They also
Okay.
had the National Buffalo Museum.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of my favorites.
That was fun.
Like,
That
everything
was
else they
good.
had,
You
it
liked
was
it
just
until
like
you went to
very
Stutzman.
out of place. Not the Buffalo Museum. It also had at the Buffalo Museum there was a sign that said, "Do not cross the field unless you can do it in 9 seconds, because the bull can do it in 10." Or the buffalo, I think it was. But that was fun.
You guys also went paddleboarding somewhere there.
Oh yeah, the Jamestown
Jamestown
Reservoir.
Reservoir, yeah.
We've learned that nobody knows what an actual lake looks like.
Well, now we're at all these rivers that have no water in them. But the frogs. Okay, about there, I remember they had a nice walking path and the canopies of
The canopies,
lilacs,
yeah.
which were not blossoming when they were there, but would have been amazing when they were. 'Cause there were these huge, long stretch canopies. But the frogs deserve some attention.
So, at the start, there was about, I don't know, Phil, how many did you save? Or move to the shade?
Oh, we started with one. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
we
there's
started
a
with
frog.
one, so I just picked him
It
up,
was hot.
put him away in the little woods, and then found another, put him away, and then I stopped. Didn't really look for any. Then Phil put away some.
Into
and
the shade.
then-
From the sun to the shade.
Yep, and then, you wanna...
So
No,
We realized quickly we were not going to save all the frogs.
yeah, there were a lot of them, and what was even more interesting when we would go up to shower at night at the shower house, the light just drew them to the walls of the shower house. It
There
was
was
incredible
just a
how
bunch
many
of
there were.
frogs.
So many of them.
they would hop into the bathroom.
Yeah, they would hop into the bathroom.
They were just little. They were quite
Yep.
cute,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they were very abundant.
There was like 100 of them.
I remember I went to Menards, where you always save big money, way too often on that trip, or on that
Wait,
particular town. Put some money into the Riv. with that. Tetherball. We played tetherball for the first
tetherball.
time there.
I got hit in the face 18 times.
At the last campground, Phil, I physically got uppercut, hit in the back of the head, and hit on top of the head.
Yeah, I got hit in the nose.
Two
It
of
still
which
hurts from
in
a
rapid
while.
succession.
This is not the discussion we're supposed
Doesn't
to be
matter.
having.
Anyway.
Does that matter?
How
Yes.
about when we got to Medora, North Dakota, which was kind of our first official destination because Emmett got us in free to the national park, which was Teddy Roosevelt National Park with his 4th grade pass. Okay, so Medora, go. What do you remember about Medora?
The musical.
Yeah, the musical.
We biked, me and Dad.
Yeah, that was a good bike. That was a big long one. That was 16
There was
miles.
a stupid amount of crickets.
Oh yeah, the crickets,
Oh,
the
the
grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers.
Yeah, those are crickets. Yeah, those were crickets. But like they
They were
sounded like
grasshoppers.
They were
tasers.
grasshoppers.
I call it Grasshopper Lane. There were so many of them.
There was also occasionally a snake or two. They were small, but you know.
Yeah,
Snakes.
Mom
They're
almost
fun.
stepped on one,
Pretty snakes.
and so it scared me when she went, ah! It scared me. And so I'm like, what?
I got to see a buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
Way up on a hill,
Way
right?
up on a hill,
We,
yep.
we,
Stuck my
we
head out
drove through the. There weren't really too
Actually,
many options.
We got to see two.
We drove through the park.
Yeah,
Because
because there
one-
was one that we had.
One on top of the
yeah.
hill, and then one just chilling
Yeah, it was
right
just
there,
chilling.
taking a nap. And then we got
Laying
dinner
down.
over there.
Medora was cute. Cute little downtown area. One night, all the boys went to the musical and had a great time. And then I think it was supposed to be 2 nights later. Belle and I went to the musical because we don't leave the dogs. Which originally, once upon a time, we thought we would, but I won't anymore. Never did. But Belle and I went, and it got
It didn't
rained out
But-
before it rained, just
and then
because
it
they were being
stuff,
safe.
and then it never
First-
did rain.
The
No,
first
it was
time.
potentially going to storm, so we didn't get to see it. But you guys all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can go back next year.
I don't need to go back to
Okay, the next two are probably
Bye.
probably really quick unless we start getting on a complaining rampage. But then we got into Montana.
Starlink. We got our Starlink in Montana.
Not yet though.
Not yet,
No.
though.
But we got
First we were at Glasgow.
Glasgow.
Let's go.
Then a different
That's eight.
place.
The best part about Glasgow,
the only good
the
part.
only good
about
part
it.
about we met the Blue Nose Bus.
Oh yeah.
That was the only thing good
yeah, that was the
about
only
that
bit.
place.
So it started out that we had bee stings.
Oh, there were
yeah.
so many bees.
Yeah, so
you
many
couldn't really
bees.
even be outside. There were so many bees.
Yep. So I got stung right away. Did you get
And
stung right away too,
sandburrs.
Phil?
I got stung on the last day we were there.
Yeah,
well,
he got stung on
we
the way out.
started to go. I got
I
sting in the
almost
back
got
and it hurt
stung.
really bad.
While we were frying potato chips.
But we did meet the Blue Nose Bus people there and talk to them a little bit, and we did get to see them one other time?
2 over there.
It's like 1.5.
One and a half other times. Okay, 1.5 other times on the Montana adventure.
Oh yeah, and then we also saw them later in our adventure at.
Oh, and that's what we just said.
Glacier.
That's what he
Oh,
just
that's-
said.
Yeah.
So
we
there
saw
really
the
wasn't
Six Flags
anything in Glasgow. We did drive a little ways and go to Fort Peck. Is that right? Yeah. That's right. Where we went to the water.
How do
Didn't
y'all
we do
even
that in
remember all
Haber?
this?
Wasn't that in Haber?
That was in Glasgow. I
Okay.
can't even remember.
That
Oh
was
yeah,
Haber.
no,
Right.
you're right.
There was a
All
lot
those
of
people
seabirds
died
there,
building it.
and we even had to try and drive someplace else to find someplace for the dogs to walk. But there were still sandbirds,
And the
mosquitoes,
mosquitoes.
and bees. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was that time of year.
And the cat.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. That would not leave us
Can't forget
alone.
about the cat.
The first cat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the first cat.
I was going outside. I think I was going to take the dogs out.
Yeah.
And I opened the door, and as I opened the door, I heard meow, and cat fell down the steps.
And there was just this small, young little black cat. This thing was friendly too.
He was
Yep.
so
Like,
cute.
If
Wanted to hang out
you
with us.
if you accidentally left your RV doors open, that thing would hop in.
Yeah, pretty sure.
It would not have a
pretty sure.
problem.
I don't know. I spent probably half hour trying to.
Looking for where that cat
Yeah,
lived.
like
But
I walked
Yeah.
it down the.
we've since learned that just about every campground seems to have a cat walking around. Just
This one does too.
Haber is similar.
Yeah.
The whole northeastern portion of Montana is just kind of barren. There's not much there. But we got to go to Ben Franklin,
That's
We did go to Ben Franklin. Did we mountain bike there?
yeah.
and the puppies got to go in
Is
that
the
one
one
store.
or
Oh yeah, the
The Ace?
North 40 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And Zoomer ate a
We
unicorn.
like that.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's actually where we learned that.
Oh, maybe I
We're
didn't-
not sure how or where, but
Oh, yeah.
somewhere along the line, probably within the past couple of days, or even that day, probably, Zoomer had eaten a very small, like, unicorn.
I don't think he actually ate. I think it was just in his mouth. So
I think he picked it up in the store.
yeah.
Yeah, and so
And then
after
he
we
spit it out and
left,
the story.
yeah, he spit out the unicorn horn, and then we have
I wasn't
since
after-
then, well, not
It's
since
in
then,
the
but
store.
every now and then we find little, small, random things, and now he picks them up.
Oh, just like stuff that's
Yeah.
like that little bunny or the stuff that we found in the parking lot. It's just like you said, random stuff that we've come across. Okay, now we got to the next major exciting destination.
KOA.
Was supposed
Yeah.
to be our first KOA, still in Montana, East Glacier. Once we finally got all through the huffing and puffing of the truck and
Oh
we
my.
got to the campground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so as we came down out of the mountains to get to the campground, all of a sudden there was a call on the radio saying, "Hey, there's smoke coming out.
Walkies. We have walkies
Walkies,
between
yep,
the two
plugged up.
vehicles, so.
Hey, you guys have smoke coming out," and I could see it, and it was white, which generally is not a good thing in engines.
This was the tires.
Well, it wasn't though. It was not
We
the tires.
thought it
We
was.
thought it was. And there was, I looked up some stuff, and they did say that tires can sometimes give off white smoke. But what it ended up being was there was a hose that was spliced together in the coolant line, and they didn't have any clamps on it. So the pressure must have built up as we were coming down, and so I put clamps on it and didn't have that issue anymore.
Yeah, but the clamps were a few times later. Though.
Yeah, that was a while later. Yeah, it wasn't that.
We
Okay,
also,
Go ahead.
we met the Blue Nose Buster.
I did, yep. Blue
Yeah.
Nose Bus happened to be there.
So, KOA campground.
KOA.
Oh, hey, yes.
KOAs are a top pick for us because they typically have
Did
more
you
amenities.
see that she's still waiting to talk?
Sorry, go ahead.
KOAs are the
Yeah.
mostly only the good, nice, like have standards campgrounds.
Yes. Yes.
I
They,
heard that.
I don't know. They just have like, they do have a set of standards, and so things tend to be a little bit cleaner. And they have, they
Nicer,
almost
per se.
all have a pool and just little activities in the
Well-
campground to do. So they're just kind of nice to stay at sometimes. But you don't have much else in the area to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about actually going into Glacier?
Water, Jerry, move.
So going into Glacier proved a little challenging because it is busy. And a few years back, they started to actually do passes to get onto going to the Sun Road. And so we did actually have passes a couple of times. I think 3 times we bought the pass. And so
It was
we,
free, wasn't it?
it was $2.
Oh.
That was $2.
It was free after like 6.
But it was a draw, so it took time to get it. Yeah, if you went in after 6, they didn't have anybody checking. But during the day, because there's so many people going to all the different sites that were on that road, they decided to go to a pass system. So we actually didn't do any major hikes out of East Glacier on the going to the Sun Road. We did. Ethan and I went to Acapuni Falls. And that was pretty nice. We actually got to stand in the pool below the falls, one of the huge falls. It probably went up to your knees, maybe. And then we also did Grinnell Glacier. And that was, again, just me and E. That was actually a really long one. That was about a 12-mile hike. So, okay, cool.
We drove through Glacier
Mhm.
and going to the Sun Road. Made a couple stops for pictures. We did have the dogs in the car with us, and so they can be where the cars were, but they couldn't be on any hiking trails. We did find one spot, like right off the road, that there was a little stream That's probably what I remember.
Yeah.
And the things I took the pictures of.
The stream and the mountain, and that we spent
There was
a while
also
there.
a
That was
really
lot of
random
fun.
thingy. I forgot what it was, but it was a very small yellow and brown caterpillar, and I believe it was called like a fuzzy bear moth or something.
And the wildflowers. Didn't really get any pictures of them because we were driving by too fast. The wildflowers were pretty. Glacier, I know so many people go there and they love it. I kind of wasn't.
But you really
It was-
just did the ride. Maybe if you'd done the hikes. maybe
Hiking's
you would
not
like it more.
fun.
You guys did an 11-hour hike. That's not our
I
style.
did not do an 11-hour hike.
It was 11 miles.
So when we from
It
the
was a
east
while.
side, we drove all the way over the going to the Sun Road. We got to the west side, and we weren't sure if we wanted to go back up over to get back to our campground. It was kind of windy. Kids were not feeling great. Car sickness-wise, and so we ended up leaving the park, which hindsight we shouldn't have done because then to get back in the park to go back the same way was so long. But we were looking at the map and we just decided to drive back on the road. And it may have been faster, but it was so stinking boring. It seemed like it took.
The first part wasn't so bad.
Yeah, the first part.
that actually was really pretty.
Then it got curvy.
Actually, we tried to get our
We're not talking
Starlink
about-
that same
Okay,
day.
yeah,
remember?
in the park though. It
We
was
tried to
really
get our Starlink, but we had no idea where it
Yeah.
I still don't understand switchbacks.
Yeah,
I've been on that road like 3 times.
Mel.
It's fine.
It's basically just a U.
I
It
don't
was
get
basically
it. Because we had big plans for Glacier, we spent a lot of time and a lot of money on lodging there. But
Yeah.
then we decided to move to the west side of Glacier. Stayed at Moose Creek Campground, which was a nice campground.
That is where we got our
And then-
Starlink, but we didn't
Yeah.
get
But
to
it
use it.
didn't
'cause
work
it was
there.
But didn't
Yeah.
because there's so many.
But they had shuffleboard.
Oh, yeah.
Shuffleboard, I forgot about shuffleboard.
And basketball.
We also
What
didn't we
is
also
Starlink is I don't know. A satellite.
It's our internet, right?
It's our satellite internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it goes with us wherever we go, but we have to set it up.
also wasn't that when we got grandma and granddad
Yes.
out to
I think we should just mount
Yeah.
them in the
And the
top
bear
of the
insulted
RV and then
us.
just- oh, yeah. It made
We're
me
supposed to be
cry.
going in chronological order
Can we
here,
do?
people.
Yeah, let's do a story at a time. And so, okay, so mini golf. Go ahead.
While we were at this campground, not terribly far away, this was probably like 5
5
minutes. And so there was a small little kind of like town sort of thing, but it was really just kind of like 5 shops and some houses.
It was like the outside of Glacier town. Yeah.
West. It was. I think it was called West Glacier Village.
Yeah, and it had a little grocery store and stuff.
Mini golf.
Okay. But the mini golf had at the end there was a bear. Like a stone bear. And beneath how most mini golf courses are is they have like that little skee ball thing. And if you get in the center you either get something or it's just like, yay, you got in the center.
Thank you.
This one had a chance for a huckleberry shake. Was it huckleberry?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And if you didn't get it in the middle, this bear would insult you. Like, it wasn't just like, okay, nice try, go on. It was, he insulted you.
He made me
Stop
cry.
it. No, don't. What are we barking at? Maybe
I'm
the-
pretty sure it told me you're very bad.
Mine, Jerry's was like, I could have made that shot better with my eyes closed.
Zoe.
Like, it was rough, man.
One of the nice things is that it was just outside the campground. There was a long paved walkway, and so had a nice spot to take puppies for a little bit longer walks.
So Grandma and Granddad came to visit us in West Glacier. Jason and some of the kids took them back to go over.
Going to the Sun Road.
Yeah, going to the sun. We went into Kalispell, which we did some shopping for the first time in weeks. And
I got
we saw
some
Target
really
and
good
everything.
books. Target.
But then I had completely spaced. That's where all the huckleberry.
Yeah.
You had huckleberry pie for the first time.
That was
good.
the
That was
best
fun.
pie
And the
I've ever
huckleberry
had.
cake.
Did you have huckleberry shake there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fantastic.
I didn't even get to try it.
That was the most expensive pie
Yeah.
ever. It was
But it
cheaper
was
to buy a whole pie
really
instead of slices, but I think it was close to
I think it was like
$50.
50
But
something.
it was very, very good.
Okay, good.
In my opinion, it wasn't
I wanna
great,
go
but
up
you
there.
know, everybody
And
else
then
says it's perfect.
We did
so.
go into Apgar Village in the evening.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Ice
to Lake
cream.
McDonald and we had
Yes.
ice
Oh,
cream.
that's right.
Yeah, like 5 times, no
No.
3.
Twice.
Twice.
No 3.
No, twice.
Twice.
Yeah,
Um,
it was twice.
It was the village and the lake and the dogs
Yep.
would go there,
Yep.
so we all got to go.
And then we took Granddad on a hike that Ethan and I had done about a year ago. And Ethan and I both really liked that hike, so we went up there and did the Hidden Lake hike. Hidden Lake Trail.
That was very fun.
Yep.
Oh, the funny thing is, at the end, I was skipping rocks, and no one's like, how the heck did you get so good at skipping rocks? It was very funny.
You'll notice for the next, I don't know, like 3 campgrounds that skipping rocks is very present.
Hey, can you make that up quick just to make sure we're still on track? Because we are now entering our 12th city,
On the 12th city that we camped in.
which was Libby.
Libby.
So Grandma and Granddad came
Oh,
to
yeah.
Libby with us. Now Libby, there's not much in Libby itself. I don't know how far away. Out of my way, I would go to Libby, but Libby's still one of my favorite places.
Yeah, we were kind of out in the middle of nowhere, actually.
The campground was
Campground.
nothing spectacular. But we landed there the same weekend they were having a chainsaw carving contest.
Yeah.
So you just got to walk downtown and watch all these carvers from around the states and around the world carve different things. Then we went to the waterfalls.
And the
When-
suspension.
The water, do you remember what they're called?
I down Kuntanai.
Kootenai.
Kootenai.
Okay, do you want to talk about that at all?
No, I want to talk about the cedars.
Oh,
On our way in the Cedars, I got stung by
I went to-
another bee in the same arm. Well, no, in the arm. I got stung in the back.
so the Kootenai waterfalls and the suspension bridge was
I
a
hate
nice
that
day.
suspension bridge.
It was a nice
Yeah.
hike.
Zoe crossed
Um,
the view.
Yeah, so we did.
Pretty views, waterfall. Not like amazingly steep waterfalls.
I think that's where
just
you
spread out
Zoo's
waterfalls.
Saw
actually.
trout in the
really
water.
We did.
That was my remember? I stood in that one spot forever looking at the trout dodging
Oh,
them.
yeah.
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 Sometimes I wonder if that's where Zumi got his dislike for bridges now.
Did you try to
He
cross it?
didn't cross it.
Zoe
He
did.
tried, but he didn't.
So we went across the long suspension bridge, but he didn't. And then the Cedars.
Trail of the Cedars. That was cool. They had, how old were they?
1,000 years old.
They had 1,000-year-old cedar trees, and they were just huge. And it was just a really nice walk. I really like the smell of cedar, so it was nice for me.
That was a pretty flat walk.
It was.
Which was
Get
nice
inside
after
of some of the trees.
What?
You could get inside
Yeah.
of some of the trees.
Yeah, we went inside some of
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Because they were so big.
Okay, big buddy.
Oh, and then Granddad got the top secret.
But the
Swimming
swimming
hole.
hole. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he had got the information about someplace to go see a bunch of mountain goats, but we weren't able to venture that way. But yeah, just some
That swimming hole
kind
was
of
cold.
It was cute though.
It was cute. It was cold.
It
and
wasn't that bad.
I
So
skipped
probably
rocks.
never
It
would have
was
been warm
pretty
though,
cold.
right? Because it was a
Yeah,
stream.
it's a mountain stream.
Yeah.
Melt
Just
off.
if
It
the
was
day
nice,
was
though.
hotter, it
When
would've felt
when we
better.
walked in, or when we jumped in, Emmett and I jumped in like
I
almost
followed
I
simultaneously.
after.
felt it.
Like, you have to jump
That's
in,
on you.
otherwise,
That's
unless
on
you
you.
have an iron will, because that is
It was
freezing.
breathtaking. Like it literally took your breath away to go
Oh, I
underneath.
did.
that
I
quick.
think it scared him a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because it was so startling.
I
You guys
did get
enjoyed
stuck. I
eventually.
was swimming in circles, but turns out I couldn't touch the whole time.
I couldn't touch
The
either.
rocks were really
Yeah.
That's
slippery.
another
Yeah.
reason
Right.
why
A lot of
I got
algae.
scared.
That's where Phil discovered his love for sea.
Okay,
The color.
then
Yes, Phil's songs. That's where they
Phil
started.
should sing
Yes,
the
we
deer
talked about
song.
That's where they started.
What? Sing the deer hunting song.
No.
That's not gonna pick up your voice when you face this way.
We need to tell them about my house.
We did. We did.
We did.
You weren't paying
We
attention.
did.
Aw.
We said we got to go inside some of them.
Phil,
That's
sing
how
the
you
deer
said.
hunting
What
song.
else would you like to
I
say?
don't remember how. I don't.
You put a door on it.
Yeah, and then it was my house.
You gotta kick the door off.
Okay, how about we entered into Idaho?
Coeur d'Alene?
Up on the top, is that called a panhandle as well? For
I don't know.
it's not really that way, but the narrow part of it's the only stop we had in Idaho, Coeur d'Alene.
That was where my birthday was. We tried sushi. That was nice. Sushi's good.
They had
Oh.
pump
Good.
track. They had pump
Oh yeah, the
track
pump
as
track.
well.
I hurt myself
Can't
like
do
3
Yeah, that
times.
was fantastic. They had a nice nature trail.
Right
It was
along
on
water.
the water.
There
I
were a
got
bunch
to
of
go
deer around the
swimming.
dog park
was
like
a bunch
all
of
the
deer.
time.
I got to go swimming.
Downtown Coeur d'Alene was really
I did
cute.
too. That's where
it was
we
like a
we
mini
paddleboarded
Chicago.
there.
Oh yeah, I fell off.
Hey, let's hike up this hill. It'll be fun, she said.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Let's yeah.
I
Let's.
don't remember.
I don't
Tubbs
remember
Hill?
the name.
Oh.
Tubbs.
Tim-
Yeah,
Tubbs
let's
Hill?
hike up Tubbs Hill. It'll be fun, they said.
Not
Let's
me.
hike up Tubbs Hill. It'll be easy, Amanda said.
Zoe loved it.
It was not easy, nor was it fun.
I fell on the way down.
I forgot about Tubbs Hill. Anyway, back to downtown.
Oh, no.
First of all,
We gotta
Coeur d'Alene
talk about
itself, if you
that.
went the other direction,
Oh,
had just about every shop
And mashed.
thing you could need. So anything we were looking for, we could find. We had an RV shop, we had a Target, we had a Costco. Then the other direction, the downtown is just really, really pretty. And another thing I appreciate is it's really, really clean.
Yeah.
And just manicured with flowers and lots of water in Coeur d'Alene. Lots of
Are we to the point where
No.
there was that big playground that we could all use?
That
What
was
was that?
in North
I think that
Dakota.
was-
That was a
oh,
long time
That
ago.
was,
yeah.
yeah, well, we were getting
I
some
think
of
that
the
was
fixed
in-
on the rib.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah,
great.
that was Montana.
That was
It was-
North Dakota.
It was really hot.
And in.
Took out a tree, Coeur d'Alene.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Not a whole tree, but a big branch. Big branch. So I
Yep.
mean, one of the things that we're
Both ways,
finding
yeah.
out very quickly is that we are long. So the rib itself is about 42 feet, and then we do have a full 8-foot bed, and it's the dual cab, so it has 4 doors. So we're quite long, and unfortunately, as we were coming out,
Take off 4 feet though of the cat because, or not the cat, the bed because it's hooked up underneath.
well, sure, okay, yes, but when we were coming out, there's only so much room to make a turn, and so they had stakes on one side and a tree on the other side, and I was really careful on those stakes, making sure I wasn't going to hit them with the back end of the rib, and all of a sudden I heard, but fortunately no damage other than just some green
tree.
from
The tree branch.
The tree will survive.
Lost an arm, man.
Okay, after our short stint in Idaho, we went to Washington. And the first stop was Ephrata.
That was a nice place.
Yeah, it was
I
mainly
can't remember that one.
That was where the
tennis courts. Tennis. We were right. Most of the people lived there. Very few people were coming in and out. It had the tennis court right kitty corner to us.
And it liked
It
skimming
had the
the
dog
pool.
park up
Oh, and the
front.
driving range.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. The
Oh,
dog
no.
park was super awesome. The dogs loved the dog park.
Is that the only place we played tennis?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
We've
We-
talked about it in other places, but that's the only place we've ever.
No place has actually had another tennis
Yeah, no
court
other
on
place.
site.
Wait, no, that's not true.
Well,
What
they
about that
have.
one?
We just
The
haven't
Chalice
used
did,
them.
but we didn't.
Well, that was
Oh yeah, we didn't go down there. Yeah, Ephrata was pretty simple, but really nice weather. It was that what you said the first time we went into the grocery store outlet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grocery store
Yeah,
outlet.
grocery store outlet.
But there was
Yep.
another cat in Ephrata.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
tell them.
He climbed
Yeah, I
out.
got the best memory.
So
of
I
this
was
one.
waking up in bed, and Amanda had pulled the blind open, and
Is that travel?
and I was looking out the window, and there was a tree right outside our window, and there was a cat in the tree. Like, well, that's weird. And then all of a sudden, the cat disappeared. It didn't go down, went up, jumped on our slide, and then jumped on top of the rib and was roaming around on the top of the rib. And I climbed up there to try to get it, and
He just jumped off.
he ended up jumping down here and then back onto the tree and back down. And that cat was around quite a bit.
Yeah. So like the people that actually own the cat, like we like it stayed with us half the time, but like they'd come by and they'd just pick it up and then just leave and
Came back. I also got to watch the Packers play a game that they actually won outside on my outside kitchen TV. That was
Yeah,
a big deal.
that's the first time you ever used it. You never used it since.
Yes, I have.
No, you
Yes, I have.
We're
Yes, he
gonna,
has.
for
Yes,
this
he is
video,
recording.
for this section of it, we're gonna do one more that'll be even 15 for uploading purposes and sharing purposes, and then we'll get a drink, and then we'll start the next real quick. But for right now, how about Randall, Washington?
Oh
Randall,
yeah!
I don't-
We went huckleberry picking.
We did.
Yeah,
Huckleberry
we
picking,
went on a
Mount
hike.
Rainier, and the sketchy
Campground.
campground.
Oh yeah.
That one was my
That was when they
least
were
favorite.
right off the road, and elk. They were like, "Oh yeah, it could be elk crossing." It was an interesting campground just simply from the fact that one of the first things that happened is one of the people that was there long term came over and said, "Hey, I see you have your Starlink out." He said, "Make sure you lock everything up at night. There's been a lot of thefts." So,
Oh yeah, and somebody's cat got stolen by an owl.
could be.
Is the cat probably alive still?
I don't think so.
Well, they land on all 4 feet is what I told
Phil, that's not.
I'm also told they have 9 lives.
Okay, that's why. No,
That campground could have been really, really neat. It had some really
We're
neat.
noticing that about a
things.
lot of them.
Yep, they're
Such
just
potential, but
such
so
potential.
unknown.
But, yep.
See, I like this one too. It has so much potential.
We did go huckleberry picking. We had to get huckleberry permits.
We had to get huckleberry
Yay.
picking permits because we went in a state park.
Yeah, I think it was a state park.
State
area.
park.
Yeah.
So, you had to print off permits. Everybody could get a permit for free. You could pick 1 gallon per permit per day, with the max of 3 gallons. If you had your own private huckleberry patch or whatever, you didn't, but we had to have a permit because we were on the state property. So we went and I got a bucket from Walmart, a jack-o'-lantern bucket, got a gallon bucket. We didn't know what we were going to find because it was near the end of the season, and
we
were also
found
gonna-
like
going to a pretty
what?
popular
10.
trail. I don't think we found 10. I think
No,
we
we
found
found
like
like
6.
4.
I think we found.
like 4
Okay,
We weren't even sure they
we
were
found like
huckleberries
4
at first.
huckleberries, and then we found the other red
Then
berries.
no, they were purple. They were Oregon grapes.
Oh yeah, Oregon grapes. That's right.
The red ones were puffy.
And then Mount Rainier.
Love
Um,
it.
Yeah, it's isn't it a volcano?
We went. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
We went there, and it actually one of the spots that I wanted to go was under construction. We couldn't get through, so we ended up going up to a different area altogether. And the kids, that road was not the nicest road.
I thought it was nice.
I just remember bouncing a lot, and but when we got up there, it was like
Freezing cold.
it was like December.
it was
It really
Oh
was.
yeah.
awesome.
Also, while we were walking, we're not sure what, but we're pretty sure someone randomly. They must have been on a hike, but someone screamed "Happy Birthday, Susan."
I didn't hear that one.
You were in the
remember
bathroom.
something.
You were in the
Hear it
bathroom.
exactly though.
But we did take the dogs up there, so we didn't get to go real far on any of the trails.
So
Also, it was almost dark.
And it was almost
We
Yeah.
drove as far
It was a-
as we could within the park, the highest point of the park for driving.
Yep.
And that was very pretty. And it was starting to be sunset. It was cold. And we weren't prepared for that. Like everybody else that was up there had their winter hats and their winter coats and their hiking
We were
boots
just
and
in
their
sweatshirts.
and shorts. Yeah, we weren't prepared. That was. Belle wants to go back there and stay at the lodge that is actually up top
Yeah.
there.
Oh, there was like 3 Starlinks there.
Yeah.
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 Anything else in that corner of
Yeah.
Oh, we also
Yeah,
did
yeah.
a hike. The huckleberry picking hike we did was pretty
That's
nice.
Yes.
the one we did.
Is that still your favorite?
I think it might be.
I have something else done. The next campground I went to, we could actually see Mount Renee from our river.
Hold on. Wait, we're not past my
That was
favorite
a
thing
thousand
yet, right?
channels.
I don't know.
Probably
Okay.
not.
Okay.
Would you go ahead and pause that for a second?
Yeah, because my finger's not in here, I have to enter the password.
Okay.
Like there's a fingerprint
Because
on
that's
that.
got to be fairly
Yep.
long, and then we'll pick up.
Can we just say goodbye?
We say goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Bye for
Bye.
Now-